You know, it's no secret, we have come a long way when it comes to technology. Who would have ever imagined that this thing could act not only as a phone, but as a phone book, your calendar, your computer, your calculator, your camera, your alarm clock, your flashlight if you need one? Do I really need to go on here?
No. And now cutting-edge technology is making the ability to heal a whole lot more high-tech. The focus, your hands, and injuries such as burns and even carpal tunnel caused by too much typing or texting. As we hear from reporter Ken Molestina, relief may come from simply sliding on a glove.
The future of treating hand injuries is being explored inside these walls.
It's just a glove.
Research scientist Ryan Landreth
It opens on the back to make it a little bit easier to put on.
Is demonstrating his lab's newest invention. It's called the ReHeal Glove, a specialized silicone glove that uses tubes to apply topical drugs that heal a severely burnt hand. Dr. Muthu Wijayasundara is the project's principal research scientist.
This would change the standard care of hand injuries and hand burns. That is what our goal is.
The new glove would essentially replace the age-old method of applying ointments on a hand and dressing it in rolls of gauze.
Researchers went through different prototypes within the last year before arriving at their final product. This glove is scheduled to go for clinical trials sometime early next year.
Also being introduced for clinical trials is what they call the rehab glove. It was developed to help stroke patients regain use of their hands, but the benefits go well beyond that.
What are the wide range of ailments that this can treat?
This can treat any kind of surgery, after any kind of surgery for rehabilitation, carpal tunnel syndrome and arthritis corrections.
Dr. Wijayasundara is talking about conditions commonly associated with using a keyboard and, most recently, excessive texting and typing on smartphones.
We can biomechanically tune this glove to mimic the natural hand movement.
Motion, these scientists say, restores the hand's working functions.
And not only can the ReHeal glove apply topical drugs to a hand, but it can also reportedly wash a wound. And it doesn't stick, so you lose that painful process of peeling something off.
Isn't that groundbreaking stuff? It's just fascinating. Now, since we're talking about hand injuries, let's focus on something that has the potential to cause quite a bit of damage.
And the smoke was just coming through the middle of it.
Now, that Kevin Abuyagi is talking about is his iPhone 6 Plus, one of the hottest smartphones on the market. Now, Kevin will tell you it is literally one of the hottest phones. He says he was sitting in his car when he hit the home button on his phone. It went up in smoke. He says it was so hot he dropped the phone. It left a mark on his car seat. Tech experts say Kevin's not the only one who's had to deal with this.
A lot of chatter online about people not being able to touch their phones because they're so hot. The processor has just gotten so powerful that the phone can't handle the heat.
Now, Dan says overheating happens in all phones, but the iPhone 6 specifically has a lot going on under the hood. Apple has refused to comment on that situation, though the company did agree to go ahead and replace Kevin's phone.
But if you recall, this is not the first time we've heard of a similar problem with a smartphone. Manolo Rodriguez says it happened to him. He says he was dropping off donations at a Goodwill when he felt something burning in his pocket. The next thing he knew, there was smoke, flames, and an explosion. He says his Samsung Galaxy 4S blew up.
The ground was burnt, and then my jacket's left pocket from the top was like burnt, and then the phone had like slid down from there to like the next pocket and burnt to that one too.
Manolo says the explosion also burnt his chest, lips, and 2 of his fingers. Manolo hired an attorney hoping his case would cause Samsung to make some changes. Samsung had said it did not want to comment until it investigated what actually happened.
Now, the silver lining to all of this, if there really is one, is that there are steps that you can take to prevent something like this from happening to you. Actually, it's very simple. Change a few settings on your phone. For instance, you can close any unnecessary apps. You can turn off automatic updates. Also a good idea to lower the brightness level on your phone. That way it doesn't have to work so hard. And tech experts at Asurion say you also want to keep your phone out of direct sunlight because it can retain heat. Now, if you're not using your phone, switch it to airplane mode. That will still allow you to play music. You can see what time it is, and you'll be cutting down on the battery use. Finally, if your phone feels hot, pop off the case. That'll clear the phone's heat vents, and as a result, it will allow the device to cool down.
Yeah, I don't want that happening.
No.
Well, something else you're going to want to do, get your hands on this. Up next on Delmarva Life, we're in the kitchen throwing together a roasted pear fall salad topped with a cider yogurt dressing.
It's the perfect fuel for all the fun you're going to have at this weekend's OC-Toberfest. Wicked witches, scary scarecrows, graveyard ghouls. You're going to find them all there. We're going to get a freaky first look a little bit later on. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.